modified. Podcast activate.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 79 of LostinTranslationmon. I'm May.
And I'm Jay.
And this week we watched The Messenger.
Or The Mysterious Goyle, Bringer of a Miracle, Doibamoing.
And The D-Reaper's Disguise.
Or Stand Up to the D-Rapper, Charge into the Zoin.
For DigiNews this week, this is some news that we covered in our Applymon episode 8, but I'll just quickly address it just in case there's some people who aren't listening to our Applymon episodes. So first of all, the V-Jump issue for January came out, and it announced the 20th anniversary V-Pet, which is coming out next year. There was also a Greymon figure that was also announced, and Patamon and Agumon hats, and some tri-cards that was announced at, I believe, a type of hobby show that I'm going to say Mega House is putting on, but I could be wrong there.
And they're like, please, try these cards.
There's also been some better images of NX Edge Alphamon, and that's pretty exciting. This part wasn't from the Apply episode. This one's just happened during the week. But yeah, it's pretty hype.
Wait, why would Alphamon be in the Apply episode?
No, the news, we didn't say that bit of news during the Apply episode.
Right.
Because it was only...
Why does anyone care about Alphamon? What's he in?
He's in Try.
Well, besides...
He's in X
You
Evolution.
recognise it.
He's in other things too that you haven't gotten to yet.
Wow, he's garbage.
I'm
I'm gonna hate that guy. In fact, I already hate the Royal Knights in advance. Get ready. I hope you all know.
Also, you should play Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah, that train's gone.
That was almost a year ago.
Yeah, that train is long past.
For LostinNewsLatelymon, Chisai animated us another animation.
It was so good.
So good. I was having a nappy nap and Jay woke me up to show me. It was very good.
And you were like, oh yeah, alright, cool. And then you went back to sleep, and then an hour later you were up and you were like, oh, I gotta watch. Because you were just you were so asleep.
Yeah.
Your brain didn't register what had happened, but your body was in tune enough that you were like, that's really good, I think.
No, it was very good. It's us talking about how Yamaki is Vamdemon again.
No, how he should murder the children.
Yeah, and how he should murder children. And Jay was very on board with this idea.
I can defeat these.
The faces of them are amazing. So thanks again, Shisai. You are amazing, and we love you, and you are fantastic. For the last bit of Lost News Lately-mon, the end of season questions are coming soon. I actually am going to read them out now so people can think about them. I have previously announced these to all Patreon supporters via the Patreon feed, but I'm going to announce them now. Now, these are subject to change. I will be posting these on all our social media things, as well as the With the Will thread, so if you want to reply, you can reply on wherever we post them, really, but they will be all featured in the With the Will thread. So, first of all, biggest difference between the English dub and the original, best and worst episodes, episode with the most changes, episode with the least changes, character who changed the most between dub and sub, best developed character, Ruki,
Get out.
Best Digimon and Tamer partnership, Ruki and Renamon.
No, that's wrong, actually.
Best and worst plot device out of Leomon, Calumon, Alice and Dobamon, and Wizardmon from Adventure.
Wait, hold on. All of those were fair choices until Wizardmon showed up.
Yeah, because he's a plot device.
No, but they're all fair choices because they're all from Tamers.
Do you want me to disclude Wizardmon then?
Yes, Wizardmon easily wins that hands down, no question.
Okay, no Wizardmon.
Wizardmon, it wins so hard this question that I've ruined people's childhoods in the process.
Okay, so best and worst plot device, Leomon, Calumon, or Alice and Dobamon. Because they're pretty they're probably more.
I can already tell you the answer to that one, but
I guess we'll leave it for our last episode, which I already have the...
Don't we go over this in the recap episode?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the last one, I guess.
Yeah, the last one. And I already have the name in mind for that episode.
Oh, cool.
Should I say it now, or should I just leave
Whisper it to me.
No, I'm not going to whisper you on the show. I'll point to it. I'll point to it. Hang on, I'll point to it.
I don't get it.
You don't get it because you don't pay attention. I'll explain to you later.
Alright. Was it that thing that Dogmons said?
No.
Oh, well, I don't care then.
Okay.
What a terrible Digimon. It's the laziest thing that's ever happened to this show. Oh, I spoiled my answer.
Huh. But I also said the best plot device.
What? No, it isn't.
I said best and worst. You have to...
Oh.
From those three.
Well, that seems simple.
That's very simple. Anyway, on to Obnoxious Synopsis. The first episode that we're watching this week is called The Messenger, or The Mysterious Girl, Bringer of Miracles, Dogmon. What do you think will happen in this episode?
Wait a minute. We talked about the last episode, Dogmon. Have we seen this one before? Or just know it's a dog?
We haven't seen it before.
Okay, so I'm actually totally lost on this one. I feel like what's happening is they're introducing a new character, one we have not seen before, and they have a mystery Digimon we haven't seen before. And beyond that, I can't make any guesses, because it's all new stuff. It's not really carried on from the old one.
So you think we're going to be introduced to a new tamer?
I mean, I do think so, yeah. I also, I'll add to that, I guess, is that I think that there might be a prophecy discussed in this episode.
So you think Genai will show up?
No, not Genai exactly, but I do think they'll be like, but there's a prophecy that if you do this, the big delete program will disappear.
Will it be a good prophecy?
No, they never are.
One's in Trier.
The ones in Try are, like, I don't know, they're okay. They're mediocre.
Okay. Do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
If there's a prophecy and it sucks.
But what are your views on prophecies if they're good?
Well, then they're good. I don't know, you've just told me they're good.
Good point.
What do you think about this food you don't like, except it's delicious and you love it?
Okay, good point. I actually can't remember what happens in either of these episodes except for that Dogmon shows up.
Okay.
Do you think it'll be a good episode?
It's been a bad string of episodes, and honestly, this opens up...
You mean good?
What? No, it was good actually. You're right. I just
keep on giving 8s and 9s.
I don't necessarily like the arc so much, but yeah, it was actually been pretty good. Okay, fine. I just don't feel so good about Tamers at the moment. But
why don't you feel good about Tamers? Did the last Applymon episode ruin you?
Sorry, I don't feel good about Digimon because that sucked. All right, fine. This will be good. Yes.
What rating do you think you'll give it?
I'll give it a 7.9. It's almost an 8, but a prophecy took away 0.1 of a point.
Ah. Filler or not filler?
No. Obviously no. Except, this is the kind of thing that a filler episode would be if the character was only around for one episode. But we're really deep in the middle of a very story-heavy moment. I don't think that would happen.
Yeah, they're not going to take, 20 minutes just to go off and fluff around somewhere.
Yeah, like they were just fighting the D-Reaper and they just had their first victory, and now they spend 2 days on a beach.
Yeah, why not?
Like, not talking about it.
That happens in anime all the time,
It does. That happens in Naruto, constantly.
Hey, do you guys just want to, go to an onsen? Alright.
Yeah, great. We only have to save the world. We need a break.
The second episode that we're watching this week is called The D-Reaper's Disguise, or Stand Up to the D-Reaper, Charge into the Zone. What do you think will happen in this episode?
I think in this episode the D-Reaper will sort of package itself into one sort of distinct Digimon, so that they'll actually have something to fight, and then... I don't know what alternatively, the zone... Maybe it, looks like it disappears or something. It goes invisible. But they go inside it, which is the zone, which is where it's, eating the building. Because the thing's not... It's weird. It's a blob, but it's not actually solid. It's kind of a shell.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think the disguise refers to?
Maybe the big red thing isn't actually the D-Reaper. There's something else which is the D-Reaper, and this is just part of it.
Right.
That could be it.
Do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
Hard to say. I guess if Jury is still just in this weird limbo back at her house, and she's just not doing anything.
Do you think it'll be a good episode?
Yes, maybe.
What rating do you think you'll give it?
I'm gonna give it a B+.
A B+ out of 10?
Yes.
It gets my A out of 5.
That was 8 out of 10.
That was 8 out, okay.
That was 8 out of 10.
Filler or not filler?
Well, it's not. They're charging.
Nothing is ever filler now.
No.
Oh my god, I'm so mad at myself.
Not until the second last episode of the whole series.
Why didn't I just keep that, put that in earlier? Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Gotta be smart.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Oh well.
Oh well. Any other ideas or predictions?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I guess just on to the show then.
See you soon!
Do. Because these episodes are, once again, feel like two-parters.
They have a very solid connecting point in the center.
Yeah, it's basically whenever an episode ends and the next episode starts off from that, I think we should cover that as 2 episodes.
But also, if the first one doesn't have a definitive arc, it doesn't have a beginning-ending. Sometimes they have a beginning-ending, and then, right at the end, you have I'm watching the kids from a distance. But this one was, Act 1 to halfway through Act 2 of the episode structure.
Yeah.
And then end. And then you begin from where that was, yeah. So they join up as essentially one thing.
We're pretty lucky that we have these 2 episodes together, but I mean, even though arguably the first episode for next week is also sort of connected to this part.
That was something we always did with 02, I think, and even Adventure, was that we generally ended up having part 1s and 2s of things
We were
in
lucky.
the one show.
Yeah, no, we've been incredibly lucky, except for, like, we've had some painful, like, cliffhangers, like Sora being kidnapped, and then that episode ending.
I mean,
yeah.
it's only painful if you care.
Yeah, I like Sora. Sora's not bad. She's pretty cool for a girl. Direct quote from the dub.
She's pretty fly for a white guile. That was so dumb.
I know. Episode 44 starts with a news report that's showing the havoc that Shinjuku is in, which is pretty standard for these episodes. I've noticed a lot of them seem to be featuring quite a bit of news to show exactly what is at stake, and that people are addressing that this is all happening. They're not just saying, oh, what is happening? We don't know, but they actually have information about that these are Digimon.
And finally we see that the Reaper is actually spreading, like, at all.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't.
The Tamers are waking up in the school, and
Maybe they've stayed
yep.
there the whole time.
Maybe it's the only place that they can stay because everywhere else is sort of evacuated or closed up.
Well, at Ruki's place.
They don't know that their parents are there, remember?
No, but they know that Ruki's parents are there.
No, they don't.
Well, then they know it's a house they can go
Ruki's
to.
parents were in the hotel.
Alright, well, if it's empty, then Ruki can go there.
Maybe she doesn't have the keys.
They can climb the walls. They have a ninja.
I'm just saying it was locked up.
They have a ninja. And the walls are made of paper.
Also, if we weren't in the school, we wouldn't get to see Terriermon on his throne.
Fair enough.
In the dub, Jen mentions that waking up in the school is a nightmare instead of just silence.
That's a Kazu line.
Takato is saying how it's really warm because it's of the D-Reaper, and it's almost like a summer break, and the cicadas are in the background. I'm like, wow, this is really nice atmosphere, and they're all like kind of taking off their jackets because the D-Reaper is making it like 30 degrees plus Celsius, obviously. Mm-hmm. Takato says how he went to check on Juri during the night, and her stepmother said she disappeared. Ruki then says, so that's where you were. In the dub, Rika says that he must be seeing things and that his goggles must be on too tight.
Because goggles being on tight would make you not be able to see stuff.
But
Also,
that's just weird because it's the opposite of what she says later on, like in the next line, where Ruki says, you're probably not seeing things. And then the dub, she says how you're overreacting. You get the willies when you lose a sock.
Well, this has to do with how he saw her in the park.
Yeah.
At the end of the last episode. And I think what this does actually is it confirms, I guess, that down that hallway was meant to be there when the mom checked down there last episode.
Yeah.
Well, 2 episodes ago now, I think, maybe. And Juri had disappeared. And just, that makes that scene way less interesting. It's like, what's down there? It's a dead end. Or you look inside, there's all these doorways. It's like, oh, I guess she's gone.
Yeah.
It was creepy when I thought maybe there was nothing meant to be there.
But she didn't look down the door, like, into the other rooms. She just sort of looked down the hallway.
And she was like, nope, done with that.
Mm. In the original, Takato says that his heart's been hurting. I'm like, aw, Takato.
I'm sorry you had this huge crush on a girl and decided to hit on her when her Digimon partner just died.
There's another news broadcast, and they're talking about Hypnos and the Digimon that appeared, and I'm really happy that they're actually talking about it.
The Hypnos thing is tough because how would people know that Hypnos exists? Mm. You know, if it's a government agency that's not well publicized, then that's a weird thing to happen. Mm. But on the other hand, what I do like is they have this professor guy, and it's no longer just like reporter being like, this is the thing that's happening. You started to have professionals come out of the woodwork and start making educated guesses about what's happening. Well, I think these Digimon, so to speak, are digital creatures that have taken on a semi-solid form, that sort of thing. And I think that is the sort of depth you'd expect. We've had too much, and we've had plenty of reporters standing on the scene. There sure does seem to be an orange monkey trying to take over downtown Tokyo, and that's the entire commentary you get on it.
Yeah. Back to where the Tamers are, they're walking around town, and they go to the Matsuda Bakery, presumably for more food. And then there's a sign on it that's saying, go to Ruki's house. Then there's a quick clip of Dolphin being on the news and is explaining that Digimon aren't all evil, and he's basically saying that, it's not just the Digimon's fault, this is something unrelated to the Digimon, sort of. Then it's not a Digimon, it's like from the Digimon program, and he's explaining it.
He's doing a really bad job, though. He still seems kind of like he's self-incriminating. Mm. He opens with, we're innocent, but also not entirely.
But also, we wrote this program that's currently trying to delete the Earth.
Doesn't make any sense. Find its source code and delete it.
Yeah. Back to the Tamers, Ruki says that it's a trap, And then that she kind of gets shy and says that, you know, she doesn't really think it's a trap. She's just never brought friends there before, and she's kind of nervous and shy about
That's
it.
so stupid.
Oh, it's sweet.
I love that. It's like, oh, no, we're all gonna die. Okay, we're not gonna die. I'm just not used to having friends.
Basically. And it reminds me of when Ken had people over and he was kind of like cagey about it, but they ended up having a good time. I love Ken.
I remember when he asked them all over to the party that one time. He was like, "Hey, I know you don't want to go or anything, but like,
Yeah, to the
I'm doing
Christmas
this
party.
thing,
Yeah.
so if you want it," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What? Okay."
That's so
That was
sweet.
the only good part of it too.
In the dub, Rika just says it's a trap and calls everyone naive for believing it, and she seems to full on expect that it's a trap instead of just being shy, and this character moment's kind of removed.
I'm very interested in who she thinks it's trapped by.
Yeah, there's no reason she would think of it's a trap. That's why
Did the D
lying.
Reaper get a piece of paper and handwrite a note, or in English, print a note, and then stick it on the bakery?
Jury could have written it, I guess.
Sure.
I mean,
but
it's
they
not a
want-
trap.
But they don't know that she's evil. And also they want to find her.
Yeah, good point.
So they would be, if it said at the bottom, I'm at Rika's house from jury, they'd be like, oh, let's go.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They would have trusted it more. Honestly, why didn't the parents sign it?
No. But I really like how in the original Ruki is saying, "Oh, it's a totally a trap," and then immediately says, "No, it's not a trap.
pretty sure
I'm
she
just
says
shy."
it's a trap, and then like Renamon nudges her.
Yeah, and says, you know, Renamon just nudges her a lot, saying, "Ruki, come on."
Because she's the mom. She's the mom that Ruki never had.
Aww. When the Tamers are walking to Ruki's house, Jury is just appearing and disappearing and being pretty Evangelion.
And then she has like a little speech about like how humanity's going to fall and stuff.
Yeah.
And only Takato can see it. And actually, to me, it wasn't Evangelion. To me, it was Fear. I don't know if you ever played that with the little girl.
Oh,
in
yeah,
red.
with the little girl,
Just like
yeah.
appearing at weird times and just saying creepy stuff. It seemed more like that.
Yeah.
Um,
There's another clip from the news, and it's Curly saying that the D-Reaper could create agents to assist him. And that's
that's how they named the little not Digimon things.
Yeah, little burbs.
They're the agents.
Yeah, they're D-Reaper agents.
So we have agents and Diginomes. This season is not good at naming stuff.
Yeah, and the Digi-Enchilada. Takato runs to where Jury was, and, you know, everyone says, "What are you doing?" And he says, Jury was here. And then Renamon says that she felt a presence. So I like Renamon.
Yeah, but that didn't necessarily mean that Jury was there. Just I felt a presence.
Yeah, she knew that something was there.
But everyone else is like, well, I didn't see anything. You must be nuts.
Yamaki and Reika are talking about how Yamaki has changed and Yamaki sort of says he was a fool at the start. But in the dub, it seems he's more saying that Riley is saying that he's a fool.
Yeah, he's saying, are you calling me the first in a line of fools, I think? He's in Japanese, and in the English he says, I wouldn't want to be the first of a line of fools, as in, like, he's changed his mind to not go down that path, rather than that she's accusing him. What I thought was interesting was that in the Japanese, Yamaki says that he doesn't think the digital world should be controlled, which is, obviously a huge step for him.
Yeah.
And in the English, he says that he feels weird because the chaos is caused by a program he made, which is actively not true.
He didn't make D-Reaper. He wasn't... I think the dub is confused and keeps on thinking that he's part of the Wild Bunch.
No, I think the dub is confused and thinks that the D-Reaper is the Shagai.
Oh, no, I think that they think it's a Wild Bunch. Even though he's significantly younger than all the members. I feel like Yamaki's like at most 30. Janyu then interrupts them to say that his friend in Germany has found the base code of the D-Reaper and they're analysing it and getting it up, and Janyu's pretty excited.
Because that's really what they should have been doing. I mean, I guess they have been doing it. That's what I suggested. And maybe it's not so simple. I guess it's like you've copy and pasted the D-Reaper into the real world or something.
Also, they've said the D-Reaper has evolved from the original that they had.
This is the most evolved part of it.
Yeah.
It is connected to the part that's in the digital world, as far as we are aware, mostly from the end of this episode.
Yep. We then see that all the families are at Ruki's, and Takato's parents have made Gilmon bread, and it's really cute.
He's so happy.
Ruki is surprised that her mum cooked and can cook, and she's really grateful. And Terriermon is really happy to eat manju.
There is a slight difference here.
Oh.
Where Ruki's mom in the Japanese says, well, it's a special thing, so, I had to try. I tried to cook once, people helped. Whereas in English, she's like, I'm not just a pretty face, I can cook too, Which is weird, because in English, the moms can't cook.
Yeah, no.
So I think she's lying.
She's lying.
But yeah, so rather than it's a one-off thing I tried really hard for, it's I could always do this. You just didn't know because you're a bad daughter.
Yeah, and that, I'm more than just a model.
And oh my god, Terriermon loves this food so much.
It makes me
when
so
they
happy.
first cut to the table, he's running around really happy, and he has to get, like, pulled by his ears to calm down.
He's you.
It's so cute. I love him so much.
Takado's parents say that he's brought everyone a change of clothes and that they can take a bath here and so they can just get refreshed because they've been living in a school. In the dub, they've only brought Takado teddy bear pajamas and his favourite toothbrush, and Takado's really embarrassed instead of being grateful for his parents. And it's not for all the tamers, it's just for him.
If it was you and your parents were like, I brought you a Hansel, you were like, yeah!
No, teddy bear pajamas, not teddy bear.
If they're like, I brought you this penguin pajamas, you'd be like, yeah!
Well, probably. But I'm 23. A 10-year-old thinks they're too old for teddy bear pajamas.
No, that's when you hit like 11 or 12.
We then see that Kulamon is at the school and he's making little signs in the ground with that paint thing like he did very early on, and I think that's
I thought
a
he was
nice...
just scratching them because they didn't look like they were made of white.
No, but they had the white thing next, the dispenser next to him.
I must have missed it.
I just thought that was a really cute callback to
cute.
the first episodes where he was just doing that all the time.
And then Impmon punches him.
No, he kicks him, I thought he kicked him.
I mean, he hits him.
Yeah, he is violent. Kulamon says that he misses Juri, and then Impmon remembers what he did and says that he was able to come back because of his friends and now that he has to do something. In the dub, Impmon says that he has a conscience and now he has to do something about it, which is more or less the same sort of thing.
Oh no, not a conscience.
We then see a girl and a Dogmon being chased by D-Reaper agents. Who cares?
And like, oh yeah, actually, you know what this looked like?
What?
And I know it's a couple of years removed, but this looked exactly like the beginning of Pokemon Sun and Moon. It's all white, and there's the girl who's running, and she's got the creature that she's trying to protect. It's like,
Back to the Tamers having a lovely, wonderful meal. Gilmon's full, so he falls back. In the dub, there's some pretty amazing lines here.
Oh, I ate so fast, I forgot to breathe. Oh. I need a bigger tummy, Takado. Draw me one.
Okay.
You're a pal.
Draw him some self-control.
And just how many buns have you had?
2, 3, 12.
There's a really cute one in Japanese, which you've written down.
Yeah.
And Jen's mom is looking at Terriermon, and Terriermon's eating manju. I don't know what that is.
It's like a sweet cakey thing. It's got jelly in usually.
Fair enough. And she says, and she knows that Terriermon eats manju all the time. That's why she made it. And she noticed that Jen had always been taking those up to his room. I think it's really nice that she had observed that and she connected the dots herself. Yeah. And then Terriermon gets the cutest face ever. And he's like, "Oh, you caught me."
Yeah.
He gets all blush. Oh, it's the cutest thing. I love Terriermon.
In the dub, it's a really weird change. He said, his mum says that Jen could learn something from Terriermon since Jen is so skinny and Terriermon eats so much.
You know what the joke is? The parents are judgmental.
Yeah, it's just, this is such a weird change from something that's a pretty cute line and a pretty cute exchange. We then see that Renamon's at her own table and it's pretty cute. Seiko says that she should have joined them and Renamon just says, no. In the dub, she says, no, I can't.
Every time I see this, like, no.
And I'm like, I love Renamon. She has her own sort of code, and I love her so much.
They don't cover that nearly enough. You know what would be really good?
What?
If Kenta and Kazu didn't exist, and we could have spent more time seeing how cool Renamon was.
And getting some even more plot development for Renamon and Ruki, because they are the main characters.
Maybe give Takado any kind of plot at all.
I don't care. He's just happy to be a Digimon, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
He's just happy to be here.
I love him. It's fine. Then the D-Reaper is found out to be avoiding parks and green areas and dodging living organisms, basically. Then the Tamers realise that they have to leave because Takado's Digivice starts beeping.
Like it's an emergency, sort of.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know they could do.
And they all start getting up and say, we have to leave. And
What's
they
it signalling?
The plot. The parents realise that they have to let their children do this because it's their own thing and they're the only ones who can help. And then they say, we know that you have to do it, we're not happy with it, but what we can do is we can help you as much as we can. There's a more character cuteness with Ruki and her family where Rumiko, who's Ruki's mother, says that she's still not saying it's okay to leave, but she can't bring herself to say good luck. And
her entire speech is, I'm not saying you can go. And that was all.
Yeah, I don't care, I like it. And then the Tamers leave and they're on Growlmon and Gargamon's running after them and it's
He's like,
really
hey,
cute.
wait up, dudes! I got guns for hands. I can't walk that fast.
Yamaki gets a message from the Ark and is quite perplexed.
He's like, what? It's alive.
Back to the Tamers, we see that they're destroying some agents, and they see a girl and Dobamon.
Was this always so easy to destroy agents? It was so hard to destroy that other one.
It was maybe they're different ones. The big bird one with the umbilical cord was stronger, I think.
Okay, these ones seem really easy to destroy.
Yeah, they're smaller and there's more of them.
Also, it's weird because they destroyed the other one by breaking the cord, and now they've completely ignored that.
I think it's because, they're different D-Reaper agents.
Okay.
Takado asks if this girl is Jerry.
Which is stupid.
I know.
She dresses nothing like her and has blonde hair.
I don't know why the dub did this.
Which, in anime parlance, means she's American.
The girl says that she was searching for the Tamers and that her name's Alice. In the dub, Rika is quite angry at Alice for being so vague. She's just like, I'm here. I've been looking for you. And Rika's like, care to tell us why? Like, she
That's
has
really
a point.
fair. But, like, I was convinced, because she's got a character design, I was like, no, you can't, in episode 44 of 51, I think
I think 51, yeah.
you can't introduce a new tamer now, and they didn't.
Nope. Bye, I guess.
This is so strange. This is really strange.
Yamaki is asking Dolphin if the Ark could be a Digimon and get sentience somehow, and says how the Ark is sending them, wants to send them something.
And he's like, no, couldn't be. It's only based on the thing that Digimons are based on.
In the dub, Dolphin says it's like a Digimon the same way that humans are like pigs. They're similar, but they're not the same. And in the dub, he seems a lot less wanting to believe him. Like, he's quite hesitant in going along with what he says. And the original is kind of like, all right, sure. You probably know. What's up? Also, Dolphin has a photo of his grown-up son and Alice.
Yeah, so it's just his kid, apparently.
His granddaughter.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Wait, how old is Dolphin?
We saw him from the 80s with his son.
Did we?
With like a 10-year-old son.
I don't remember that at all.
When Dolphin's on the news at the start of the episode, and he's saying things from 1984, which is when he was working on the Digimon project, and he's got his son there, and his son's the one doing the drawings.
Is his son Oikawa?
Oh my god, please. His son's Vamdemon.
Yeah, that's how he has a goth daughter.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And they have so they have this really awkward confrontation with this goth girl. Why is it so awkward?
Dobamon says that he came to deliver something. In the dub, Alice says that Dobamon has been hunted mercilessly since he arrived in the real world, which
makes no sense whatsoever.
Was also not said in the original. I'm like, alright, okay.
Who would be hunting this dog? It would be the D-Reaper, and the D-Reaper's not... until up to this point, we wouldn't think they were so sentient as to even do such a thing. But considering that it has a limited range of space that it can act in, right?
Yeah.
How can it be mercilessly hunted when you can just walk away from the thing hunting you and be safe?
It sounds cool if you don't think about it, I guess.
Also, there's a distinction where in the Japanese they say deliver something, and the English they say deliver a message.
Yep.
Which is really different, and also technically not true.
It's not a message.
It is more than a message.
Yeah. A big D-Reaper agent shows up, and the Digimon evolved to Perfect, and whoops, Takado has his red D-Arc in the card slash.
I didn't even notice.
It kind of exploded, and he has a gold one now, but okay.
I didn't even notice. They're not redoing that animation.
Takado then says that they have to evolve to Ultimate. And I'm just going to go back to that for a second, of him having the gold. We have seen a card slash with his gold D-Arc. They just used the wrong animation.
Wow.
They used the wrong stock footage.
Wow.
They clicked the wrong .avi file.
So they say that they can go to Ultimate. They need to go to Ultimate, and then they obviously go, well, no, we can't. We're on the digital world. And then in the Japanese, the only thing that is said up until the end of this episode is, well, actually, that's what we're here to address.
Yeah.
Says Dogmon and such. And I was like, oh, we're gonna have new Ultimate evolutions because obviously they can't evolve or anything, so we'll have a new thing. In English, they say we need to biomerge, and then they say, well, actually, about that. I'm like, oh. Okay, this is lame.
Dogmon says that this is something from the Holy Beasts, and basically has this little speech about, the Holy Beasts are fighting in their world, so they're going to give you their power to help you fight in your world. I'm plot. And in the dub, he just thanks Alice for all he's done, and then his head explodes off and splits in two. I don't know. It splits into blue and red lights.
We both have the exact same ending of our notes, which is exclamation, capitals, did he just die?
Because, what? His head...
Exploded.
Bye.
I remember him running and, like, him exploding in general, and his head just dissolves later.
Yeah, no, but he's like...
But he does split in two.
Well, his whole body just, like, disintegrates into light, and his head's just kind of floating in the air.
Yeah, and then it splits.
Yeah, and it's just, it's
totally nonsensical as well.
It happens.
You know what would have been really good? Instead of having to sacrifice this Digimon so that they could evolve? If you had some kind of Digimon that was also, like, evolution made flesh, that could go around and evolve things by shining and not have to die.
I don't think Terriermon's can be used anymore. I think he's used up his power.
Says
I'll-
your fan theory.
I'll get to that in Postmon Pat, where we have someone who pointed out something. I guess I'll maybe say it now. Kyleone? Mm-hmm. I can never say it. I'm so sorry.
Kyleone.
I'm so sorry.
They're Kai and there's only one of them.
They sent us a message on Tumblr, and my apologies, this is from the previous week, I just forgot to add it, that they noticed that Terriermon's little red triangle on his head has become like a saturated purple. And I did not notice that, and now after reading that message and watching Digimon, I saw he has a purple triangle now. Do his powers not work?
Or has he been upgraded?
I think he's used up all his power with the Shining Evolution.
Well, that's possible, but if you get to the end of the episode... So, if we get to the end of the season and he never does anything ever again, then I'd probably agree. Because
I can't remember.
That would make sense. But at the same time, like, I can't imagine a situation in which you could say, look, the incarnation of evolution doesn't work anymore. Because where does evolution come from if not this? Right? Because it didn't get replaced. I don't think we can treat the evolution the same way we think of fossil fuels, that one day it'll just run out. Is that what this show's about?
Yeah, it's about the environment.
I thought it was about gay marriage.
It's about both.
That is one of those things where, like, if you just stretch all the points really thin, you'll make it.
I bet Donald Trump hates Digimon.
I bet he does. Did you know, and I know this is not exactly relevant to this situation, but did you know that he's been offered a bunch of intelligence briefings and he keeps saying no?
What? Okay. The next episode starts directly after this point, and the Tamers can evolve to Ultimate in the digital world now, thanks to the Holy Beast's power by the plot. Bitch, straight up, Dogmon is basically just the plot. He was carrying the plot, and now he has died to give plot. Isn't that the definition of a plot device, right?
Isn't this exactly what Wizardmon did, but faster?
Yeah, and less trying to have a... Like, no one had... Takara doesn't start crying because Dogmon
Alice
dies.
does.
Yeah, but, like, we sort of, like...
Alice does, which makes it even funnier.
But no one else cares, and I'm glad. Takara didn't say, "Oh no, Dobamon,
my best friend.
Thank you so much for all you've done for us." I mean, he kind of did, but he also...
You mean how that thing happened in that movie with that other dog that died?
And everyone was super sad, yes.
It's the same thing.
Can we stop killing girls' dogs, please? Because, like, arguably, like... Because we killed Leomon.
You know what never dies when you give them a different animal? None of the cats ever die.
Just give them a cat. They have 9 lives.
Thus far, we've seen 2 girls have cats, and all of them have been doing just fine.
Leomon's a cat, technically, but I've called him a dog because he's such a good dog.
Okay,
Digimon
fine.
dogs.
You know what? That's fair. No, that cat died.
Leomon does not have 9 lives. Leomon has negative 9 lives.
Actually, how many times... I know you can't answer that because it's on the seasons, but I want you to give it some thought. How many times has Leomon died in Digimon fiction?
Different Leomons.
No, not necessarily. He has 9 lives. Has he only used 8 of them? Has he used 11?
I don't even know. I can't be bothered counting. I don't think I can count that high.
I'd be really interested if we get a message just telling me how many... telling me, not necessarily how many times he's died, so because of spoilers, but has he used all his 9 lives yet?
No.
Okay.
No.
Fair enough.
No, probably not. Anyway, so the Tamers start evolving. Jen is in this, like, green matrix area, and he's thinking about how when he was a little kid, he was selfish because of all his siblings, and he got into a physical fight once and hurt the kid. And then he wanted to learn to restrain himself, and he started learning martial arts to help him there. And he started holding himself back. And then now he doesn't feel the need to hold himself back because of all the things that Terriermon and himself can accomplish.
So, did you realise what I sort of identified immediately was like, This sounds a lot like Yoli's
Oh,
story.
it's your Lee story, but with more violence.
With more violence and more time put into it, which is weird because
Yeah.
you know what, actually it's not that weird. He's had Susie around, so I guess they've had some family before this.
And also, all his... and we were talking about this earlier, arguably all his character development was sort of before the series.
Yeah, because
he evolved. He's like Terriermon can already evolve, and he grew. Maybe he grew a bit there. It's all like behind the scenes of his character development.
his entire story of this bad thing happened, then I got over it, happened before the show began, and that was why he was already sort of in balance with Terriermon to begin with.
Yeah. In the dub, Henry says that he always had to assert himself because he had so many brothers and sisters, and that Cho Sensei taught him that he had to fight, and he once used what he learnt in martial arts against a kid and hurt him. And this is a weird change considering in the original he learnt the martial arts after hurting the kid instead of before. So I don't know, that just sounded weird to me. And then after hurting the kid, then he decided to hold himself back. Instead of, again, in the original, the martial arts was teaching him how to restrain himself. Then Henry addresses that he's now in a battle that means something, and fighting for a purpose is different than just fighting to fight.
That's fair. He should learn the way of the passive fist. So, I know you're pointing at that, but my problem is that we have different... I remember looking at this again to make sure I got it right.
Uh-huh.
We have opposite things that Ruki says.
Really?
I wrote down that she initially did wish she was born a boy.
Oh, I must have misread the subtitle then.
But I don't know. Now that I see yours, my doubts have been raised.
Well, she said the line, "I never really wished to be a boy." So
Oh
it's
no,
sort of...
but that means that she did once.
Yeah.
And then, well, she would have said it once.
And then realised that she didn't actually want that.
Yeah.
No,
I could not tell what she was talking about her dad.
It just mentions the dad. Has her dad been addressed at
Never,
all?
ever.
Okay, we do get a bit about her dad later, and I can't remember if it's good or not, but yeah, so there are daddy issues.
Right.
Which kind of come out of nowhere and haven't been addressed before, so it's kind of a bit strange.
Well, this is their first attempt at addressing it in episode 45.
She had a lot of other problems to address, it's fine.
She did. Most of them were herself. But then she became friends with Takado and Jen. You've written and the others, but it was Jen. She hates Kazu and Kenta still, and she hates Ryo.
Arguably, she still sees them as friends.
No, Ryo's okay. She hates Kenta and Kazu though. She has good reason, and she realizes she's changing, and she said, and what's interesting, she goes, I thought I was obsessed with winning, but I was actually just afraid of losing.
No, she's worried about getting weaker. And she was scaring herself when she was starting to make friends, because she was like, this is making me weaker, and then I'm going to lose.
Those are two different points.
Yeah.
One of them is she thought friends would sort of ruin her integrity, I guess.
Yeah.
But what I thought was, she did say that she was obsessed with winning, but what she was actually afraid of was losing.
Yes.
Which I think is a really interesting distinction, in that she wasn't driven by ambition, she was driven by terror.
Yeah.
And which she's gotten over because she has a safety net of friends, which is really cool. I don't really remember what the English version of this was, if there's any different.
Well, I wrote some notes because I thought
Actually, she doesn't mention the being a boy thing or the father at all.
Yeah, well, she says that she can't believe she's the same person that she was when she thought that Digimon were just for fighting, and all she could think about was fighting and loading Digimon.
Digimon, our friend, not food.
And how being the best was the only thing that mattered. But now she's made friends, she's realised there's more to life than fighting, but how there's courage and friendship. And now it's tough that she has to now worry about someone besides herself, and now she's seen all the pain that fighting has caused, and she's not sure if she wants to fight at all. And then she thinks about Jerry.
That's lame, you should keep fighting.
Yeah. And then she says that it's time to have the strength to save the world. It's like, oh, that's sweet. And she's addressing Jerry because she's
Best friend.
I think she's the person she's closest with is Jerry. She was very supportive in the digital world. I like that, okay? I like these friends. It's nice. I like them. They're such good gal pals.
And then Takado wanders through and is like, yo, I love that I'm a Digimon now. This is the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. He didn't have any problems. He was just really jazzed to have and then be a Digimon.
Like, Takado didn't have any character development, but that's fine because he was precious and he's beautiful and I love him. Because Jen has like, oh, I had to like, you know, find a balance between restraining myself and not being too held back. And Ruki's like, I had to find friends and strength in friends, and now I love my friends, and it was scary at first, but it's fine. Takado's like, I gotta be a Digimon! How cool is that?
Well, Takado's conflict was to make friends, and it turned out by relentless positivity, he managed it.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm gonna aggressively be everyone's friend, and it's great, and I'm gonna be a Digimon, and I'm gonna fight, and it's great, and I love Digimon so much. That's his character growth. He went from someone who liked Digimon to somebody who liked Digimon and also could be a Digimon. This is my dream.
It's your character arc.
Yeah, this is my character arc.
And I was talking to you before about this, and I'm glad I remembered it. What's really weird about this moment is that if you think about it, it means that all of the bad things that have happened are ideal to Takado. He would never have been a Digimon if Leomon hadn't died. So, from his perspective, Leomon dying was the best thing that's ever happened to him.
Oh my god, that's heartbreaking. Why would you say that? And, yeah, in the dub, it's sort of the same. He still mentions how it's great to share his feelings with Gilmon, but there's an extra bit added onto the end, which is they're trying to add some character into this, and it's him saying, because of Gilmon, he knows what it's like to feel part of something greater than just himself, and now nothing is going to tear him away from his friends. And that's an addition that the dub made, and it's fine. But I do have a complaint about the dub. So in the original, each of the three have like a custom music bit to their evolution. Like Jen has this really like dun 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 dun, and then like Ruki has that beautiful like music, and it's so relaxing and chill and zen, and it's very nice. And Takado has like this I'm a hero, yeah, music.
To be quite honest with you, I skipped all the evolutions.
Oh, I love I like the evolutions to Ultimate purely because of that different bit of music they have. In the dub, because there's no custom music that each character has, it's just the same evolution song. I feel like it really drops in quality with the music, because after each of the intros, One Vision starts.
Do you know what's worse though?
What?
Digimon.
Yeah, okay, it's better than that.
They do it 8 times.
It's better than that, at
so
least.
bad.
But I'm just saying how, in the dub, because there's no custom intro, it's the same song 3 times, instead of different song, main evolution song. And that's just, there's no repeating, and I just feel like the dub lost a bit not making custom music for each of the 3 characters. There's only 3 characters, and you can only make it for 15 seconds. I don't care. I love it.
You're right, there only are 15. There only are 3 characters. Not this Kenta and Kazu and Suzy additional weirdness.
The main characters.
So great. Kenta is so pointless. He's such a waste of time. He contributes nothing to the entire show. It's painful.
I also noticed that this is how you do the first 5 minutes of a Digimon episode with just evolutions, because we've previously complained like, oh, but the first 5 minutes were just evolutions. Like this happened in Adventure in 02, but they actually put character development and plot into that.
Yeah, there's stuff going on.
So instead of like wanting to skip it, it was like, oh no, this is like a big character moment, and they're realizing how they've grown, and this is just this is how they've developed their characters, and they wanted to tell you how their characters, except for Takado. I love Takado anyway, and he's just there, and he's just so friendly.
He's so jazzed about Digimon.
He's like, I gotta be a Digimon, and I have a Digimon, and he's my best friend, and I made friends. I love Digimon. I love friends.
I'm having such a good day.
He's having such a good time, and you know, Jen's like, oh, I had to restrain myself, and Ruki's like, I made friends. Oh, I love them.
So we cut back out of that, and Dobermon's head reforms.
And licks Alice.
And buzzes around Alice, and she's like, Dobermon, you're alive, you come back to me. And he's like, nope, and just explodes again. Like, you can see she was sad,
yeah, happy
for a moment, and then crushed. It was so unnecessarily cruel. I feel like the writers were like, okay, we gotta give her something, right? But it's, to me, at the end of the day, it's just much worse than it ever was.
Back to the Wild Bunch and Hypnos, Jianyu is learning how the children are fighting the agents and wishes that he could do something to help. Back to the Tamers, Alice walks off because she's a plot device.
and leaves.
Bye, I guess. In the dub, instead of silence, she's thinking to herself about how Dogmon gave them all a chance, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sad."
You know what should have happened? She should have pulled out a Digivice and it should have the static on the screen.
Oh, that would have been sad.
Yeah, maybe it would have been something.
She wasn't a chosen child.
But then what the hell was Dogmon doing with her?
I can't remember how much of this is explained, so I'm not actually going to say
Is it
anything.
none of it?
I can't remember, but there is actually something that's going on, but I'm not going to say just in case it's... But we do see the photo of Alice being Dolphin's granddaughter.
Yeah.
There's something there.
That's the only time, yeah, that's how I figured it out.
And that he was stroking the photo.
So Yamaki wants to get power to the Ark, somehow?
No, but a bit before that, there's just Seiko and Rumiko watching the TV, and they see Sakuyamon fighting, and I'm thinking to myself, do they know that that's
No,
Ruki?
not a chance. No, there's no way.
Because, like...
Even if Ruki said, I fused with my Digimon this one time, there is not a chance that they would know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And
do you think they're gonna find out?
I think they might find out when they devolve. The fact is, the kids, when they were around her when she evolved, didn't know it was her.
Yeah.
And they had every reason to know.
Yeah, that's fair. And then back to Yamaki.
So he wants to get power to the Ark. He talks to the girl.
Oh no,
whose name I don't remember.
you're skipping the bit about Junyu stressing out.
Oh, because I didn't care.
Oh, well, I cared. So Yamaki says to Junyu that he believes in the power that the kids have and the power that the kids are fighting with, because Junyu's kind of run out the door in frustration, I guess. In the dub, Yamaki says how they need Junyu since it's his program that he worked on. So it's not so much the kids are relying on us, it's you have to do it. It just feels like it's addressing the point differently.
That's fair enough. So Yamaki's talking to Daisy about the Ark and how it's still alive and it's communicating and how they're still connected and how he wants to give the Ark power. And she says that of course she'll help because like she developed it primarily, apparently. Yeah. In English, for whatever reason, Yamaki says that they have to keep it secret between them, which makes no sense, because if you'd think that it'd be helpful in any way, then everyone should be working on it, because like, what else are they going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So
twiddle their thumbs.
So speaking of twiddling their thumbs, Kenta and Marine Angemon are sitting watching TV. Then we get these shots of, we'll go into details in a moment, but I just want to belabor the point on this one. We see Kazu, and then we see Suzy, and we see their Digimon, and then we see them go and help.
Yep.
We do not see Kento go and help.
But we know he runs off.
We know he runs off, but we do not see him...
To be fair, he's travelling by foot. Kazu is travelling by robot.
Yeah, he's travelling by jetpack.
Robot beats foot.
Actually, technically, the rabbit should have got there first. It's so fast.
She's just very... Oh, yeah, she is. I don't think she's running. I just think she's walking.
Could have jumped.
Good point. But I think that...
Bunnies jump.
I think Shuchon is saying what to do, and she just kind of say, go get them, and she's not saying run to get them or jump to get them. She just says, go.
So back to, I guess, the details of it. Kazu's mom is, like, just kicking Gardramon, and Kazu's like... You know, I am actually a tamer too. Maybe I should go help. Which I can't believe it took him. This is day 4. It's unbelievable.
His friends have been living in the school.
The robot has been standing in his yard for 4 days.
Probably getting rained on and rusty.
Also, I don't know. Actually, no, hold on. Because he's inside, it looked like he was on the second story, but he's not. It's on the first. Okay, yeah. I guess this again reminds me that, like, it's really weird that Kazu has Gardramon, which is, like, you know, it's an adult level. Yeah. Yeah. And then, what Marine Angemon's what, Mega?
Ultimate or Mega, yeah. Fully evolved.
That's disgusting. It's so stupid. Marine Angemon did not need any of this Dobemon killing himself for it to evolve. It was already fully evolved.
He was already there.
He could have already won this fight, maybe. Apparently it's crap. I don't know. And there's a really, really good bit where so Susie's sitting in there with Cho Sensei.
Yeah.
And Lotmon struggles out of her arms and is like, you know what? The wording is, I must go, which is. I know what it is like using more powerful language. No, but it's also that she's picked up the modern speech that she was being taught.
I'm not sure if you picked this part up, but he is no longer using ware, he's using boku.
No, I did not notice that, because why would I notice that? I just read the subtitles.
Yeah, so he's now saying boku, which is, as a few episodes ago, Shuchon was saying, you must use boku instead of ware. No one says ware. So he starts saying Boku.
Wouldn't it be crap if the English version, Lotmon gets up and is just like, I'm not going to sleep.
Why didn't they do that? That'd have been cute. Like, I must not sleep. I must go.
That would have been so dumb.
Would have been cute.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, in the dub, she's still, like, Lotmon
he's
is still
learning.
speaking in the same way. And I'm saying she because I think Lotmon is a girl in the dub.
I think so.
Yeah, so she's using the same very formal speak. And, you know, she hasn't changed the way of her tone at all. So this little cute moment is removed, and I just don't like that because I like how he's like, I shall, no, I must go, instead of Wada is using Boku. I like that.
So there's a weird bit where Lotmon says that, you know, I need your power, talking to Suzy, which is a weird phrase because any other Digimon would said, I need you to come with me. But in this circumstance, it was like, can you just give me some of your power, then I'll just go do this alone.
Because she's small.
Yeah, I know that, but, like, it's weird that so was Kari. The fact is, this is a really weird Digimon-Tamer relationship where the Tamer is very uninvolved.
Yeah.
Everything Lotmon has actively done for this group, Suzy hasn't been there. It's really strange. So we cut to the kids, and they're fighting still, because that's the theme of this episode. And I just want to complain again how St. Gargamon's face has no expression and is awful.
Oh no, and he doesn't have any mouth movements, so I'm surprised the dub haven't just put in more stupid lines for him.
It's actively frustrating. Like, I can't stand staring at his face. He has Terriermon's voice, so he sounds great. It's just like, I'm a robot, that's awesome, but the face doesn't move, so there's no... It takes all the fun out of the most fun character in the show.
Also, his face kind of looks a bit like a dog, and it's kind of cute. But there is a cute bit when they first evolve, and St. Gargamon's like using martial arts, because Henry is inside him, and he since he's a martial arts student, he's using the same moves that he's used. So it's a nice sort of thing that he's using the martial arts that he knows as a human, and it's just, I know that's sweet, and it's nice attention to detail.
So they kill the whatever big thing they're fighting, just, I guess, a big agent. It's not really anything. And then Dogmon tries to interrogate the big red bubble.
Yes,
and everyone's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
it's a bubble.
He says something along the lines of like, I, Dogmon, demand to know your intentions.
There are two brains in there, and neither one of them could figure out that was stupid.
Yeah. In the dub, Dogmon says the D-Reaper should just give up instead of trying to interrogate him.
It's not going to give up. And then the bubble, he flies too close to it, and this big red hand reaches out and like grabs him.
Yep.
And everyone's like, oh no! And he's like, oh no! And then he gets sucked into the bubble.
So we find out that Kent has left, Kazu's showing up, Shuchon is also gone, and one of her big sisters finds her and asks where Lotmon is, and we see that Lotmon has evolved.
Just points to
Antilamon.
And Antilamon just like walks by being giant.
Yo.
It's like, what? It's really cute though.
So yeah, Dogmon's dragged with the D-Reaper, and he sees the insides of it, and he starts to fade away. And they see a park, so they land, and it's
safe here.
You know what? It's that park that they're always in, so
It's the
that's
park we were at.
That's convenient. And they land and they de-evolve, which is super duper convenient. And
No, because the wording was, I can't hold this form anymore because I'm dying. Like that, it was convenient in the sense that it got Takato out of the body, but it wasn't so convenient of like, well, why'd you do that? Well, okay, if you were damaged because you were drawn through the delete monster, I can understand that. I just think it's convenient that Gilmon's not doing the same buzzy death stuff. Because you'd think that Digimon would be really, really vulnerable to this. And I don't understand why the D-Reaper doesn't dissolve things by touching it anymore. Now it's just a solid entity.
that might have just been because they were in the digital world.
Yeah, it's weird.
So yeah, they say that the D-Reaper have stopped because of the greenery, and they sort of say, is that possible? Then we see that Jury is in the bubble. We see Impmon and Kulamon are walking around, and Kulamon wants to go to the D-Reaper.
Kulamon has like this uncontrollable urge to go there.
Takato is talking to Jury, and Jury says the human known as Jury has been a useful sample, and because her thought process only leads to destructive behaviour, and this is what humans call sadness.
That's cool. I like that.
It is.
This is the best bit of the whole 2 episodes.
Oh, 100%. And then in the dub, she says that Jury is not in any physical danger. A lie. I'm sorry.
No, in the Japanese, it was full on like, she'll die soon, but we're going to use her until then.
Yeah.
In the English, it's basically like, the D-Reaper likes this subject. She will be safe.
Yeah.
Unlike you.
Which is really weird.
It's totally opposite.
The D-Reaper then says that it was easy to assimilate Jerry because her data was similar to the D-Reaper because it was focused on destruction, despair, and sadness. then the D-Reaper says that she's unsure what to do with the humans.
So I like this version, the English one, because it gives you a reason why she was chosen.
Yeah.
At the same time, I kind of also like the idea that this thing is so alien, it doesn't matter why she was chosen.
Well, it says in the original that she was chosen because of the thought process being focused on destruction.
No, that she is a useful sample because.
Yeah.
Not she was chosen because.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
It sounds more convenient in the Japanese, where in the English it sounds intentional, which, actually, you know what, when I think about it, I like it better.
Yeah.
I like it better that, like, this is why Juri... Because you know what? Think about what happened in that episode. Juri was really sad that a dog talked to her, and then she walked behind a rock, and now she's possessed.
Yeah.
That is stupid. That is really dumb.
That is dumb.
What happened before then? Who... Was the D-Reaper the dog?
I think a drop of the D-Reaper landed near her foot the episode before.
But that
when
doesn't
she
mean
walked
anything.
Off, and she looked at it, and that was kind of foreshadowing, I guess.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. The interpretation out of this is that the D-Reaper was the dog.
Can we please? I'm not sure if that's ever stated, but it should be. Takata starts shaking her, and Gilmon says to stop because it's not Juri. Back to Kulamon. Kulamon goes to fly away to the D-Reaper, and Itmon stops him and says, "You're too weak. You won't be able to fight him." Kulamon then says that he wants to go, and Itmon says, Are you sure? And Kulamon nods. In the dub, Kulamon says that he didn't know that Itmon cared.
Aww, because he cares now.
That's cute.
Juri starts like crack at the seams and starts going really weird. We've seen this effect before, I'm sure, on a different Digimon or from something else, but... Yeah.
Maybe it was in the Battle of Adventurers movie where that man sort of like cracked and exploded and became a Digimon.
Be. But this is really cool because it's very rare to see it happen to a human of any kind.
Yeah.
And she grows like a foot taller and then sprouts wings.
Yep, and her eyes are weirder.
This has the coolest effect of the show, where she walks towards Takata, and in the background, all the trees instantly die when she walks past them and just dump all their leaves on the ground. It's so cool.
Which is strange, considering the D-Reaper was avoiding greenery.
No. Okay, so there's a small difference here.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Japanese it said that it is slow to analyze the greenery. Like it's struggling, but it will get there.
Yeah.
Whereas in the English it says organic matter is unable to be analyzed. It is like a hard roadblock.
Oh.
So I think in the Japanese it is going to happen, just it's slow.
Yeah,
which
that makes sense.
The argument I would make then is that the reason he needs a human sample is to analyze the organics more quickly, which is why he can now affect the trees.
Oh, no, that's fair. I like that. The D-Reaper then says that the D-Reaper has concluded that humans don't deserve to live and must be destroyed.
Now, you say that. He keeps saying the D-Reaper. I don't think this is speaking in third person. I think this is an agent that has possessed her.
Okay, that's fair.
Which would make more sense, because the Reaper itself I don't think is a thinking entity, but the agents seem to be. I don't know, it's confusing.
Gilmon says that she's part of the D-Reaper too. In the dub, the D-Reaper, or I guess the D-Reaper agent, Jerry, whatever, I'll just say Jerry, says that because of humans' apparent defects, that they must be destroyed. And this is sort of saying that Takata helped her reach this conclusion, because she says, because of your apparent defects, and because Takato's like shaking her and trying to and plead with her. And he's like, well, you're pathetic.
Well, no, but like the D-Reaper already came to that conclusion before this.
In the dub, it's implied that because earlier in the conversation, the Jerry Reaper says that she's not sure, but even though in the original she never says that. So it's
it's not canon. It's English.
Gilmon says that they can't stay here. Takata then exclaims that he needs to save Juri. In the dub, he's more focused on wanting to defeat the D-Reaper instead of saving Juri.
Why does Juri just walk away instead of killing them?
She should kill them, right?
I don't know what the D-Reaper's motivation is yet necessarily.
Yeah.
But if the statement is that humans are imperfect and not worthy of existence, why not just kill him?
Dude, I think the D-Reaper just wants to kill. I think that's the motivation. It just deletes.
I think the argument to be made, if I were to stretch out and try to pull something out of thin air, is that Juri's not entirely gone, and that is a decision being made behind the eyes.
Right.
Maybe, who knows? And then, so Kazu and Gadramon show up on the sweet jetpacks.
And Ruki is happy to see him for once, and that was weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Then a Kamen Rider shows up.
That's true! That's why it looked familiar. Like, okay, so I saw the red scarf, and I'm like, okay, that's whatever Cyberdramon would turn into if it wasn't evil. It's definitely Ryo that's just showed up. I know this.
Do you think it's Ryo?
I do, actually. Are you saying it's not?
No, I'm just asking.
I really do think that. Because the scarf is the same, isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
'Cause
Looks
Itmon
fun.
also has a scarf.
Yeah, but he's over there. We know where he is.
It could be like even better, like benevolent Itmon.
It's what's it called? It's Beelzemon Bishi mode.
Oh no, Beelzemon Carmen mode.
He has his he has a
Kamen Rider
manga called
Beelz.
Bishi Blast.
In the dub, Kazu says, "Typical. Somebody always shows up to steal my glory." I'm like, okay, shut up, Kazu.
I hate Kazu so much. He still hasn't done anything good for the show.
He's done more than Kenta.
That's true, and I'm upset.
What do you think of both these episodes as someone who is new to Digimon?
I think they have this problem of the Dobemon. There are better ways they could have done this, and I think that otherwise the episodes are fine, considering they are big fighty episodes. Mm-hmm. But, like, I think having Dobemon be this thing that happens sort of for the last 5 minutes of the first one and then right at the beginning of the second one has kind of soured me on them. As much as they are totally good episodes by themselves, this thing is such a terrible, weird plot hole in the center. Not even a plot hole, it makes perfect sense. But it's such a badly written plot device in the center that it's hurt the rest of them significantly.
How would you rate this episode, well, both these episodes?
So, like, oh god, this is hard. So the second half of the second episode is awesome. Like the entire conversation with Drew when she's turned into a monster, and that entire scene is like a 10. But it is a 10 packaged inside an episode that is mostly about fighting and stuff. And the evolution bit at the beginning was fine and good. I guess it's like an 8.
I think I gave both like between a 7 and an 8.
And the first one, which has more Dogmon at the end and has the family bit, which is cute.
I know, I think I rated the first one higher because of the family bit, because I really like their family bits.
No, look, the first one's a 7 at best, and the second one is an 8. The second one is a not generous 8.
No, I think I would agree with that. Yeah, I just really appreciate the family parts.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it... That makes that an enjoyable part, but it doesn't make it a good episode, if that makes any sense. Because if you took that part out of the episode, nothing would have changed.
Yeah, no, good point.
It doesn't forward the story at all.
I also do like the start of the second episode where they're all evolving and we get the character development and explanations. I really like that.
That's what I'm on the fence with that one. That's like an 8.5. It could push to a 9, but I don't think it's quite that good. Because I know that watching it a second time was a drag. Because it's so much just fighty fights.
Yeah, no, both these episodes are pretty fight-heavy, but they're not bad because they're fight-heavy.
Yeah, like, there's other stuff going on, which is fine.
Yeah. How would you compare this episode to your predictions in Obnoxious Synopsis?
So I said a new tamer would show up, which is, like, it was a kid attached to the Digimon, but she didn't have a Digivice, so I guess I was wrong. And they'd have a prophecy, which was not true, except they did have a message, which was almost like a prophecy from... and I guess it was a big dog. Yeah. Yeah, so what would annoy me if there was a prophecy, and there wasn't really, it's fine. It was a good enough episode that I would call it good, and I said 7.9, which is high. It's a 7 at best. And of course it's not filler. Then as far as the Reaper's disguise, though, I said that the kids would end up inside the Reaper Zone. I said other stuff, but that's the qualitative part that I was right about.
Yeah.
Where the building is being eaten, and they fight. They fight its shadow, the true self, which actually really close to what happened.
Yeah.
Like that, she had the same expression and glowy stuff that shadows have in Persona.
Yeah, no, I can see
that was actively very, very, very true.
Yeah, and how she changes into
a
monster, but still has that little aspect of her. No, it is a
she
shadow.
She fought Juri's shadow.
She is the true self.
And then I said, as far as things that annoy me, Juri's story arc didn't spin its wheels, so I guess it didn't. I said it would be a good episode, and it was a B+. No, that was an A. That was a solid... It was an A, but not an A+. That's what I want to give it.
It was an A out of 5.
It was A, yeah. It's an A out of 5.
And, yeah, what was the biggest difference that you noticed? Because I did not notice many except for the start-ish of the first one, how in one version it's Jen saying, I was violent, so I took martial arts to help, hold myself back. And then in the dub saying, I took martial arts, and because of that, I used my martial arts against a kid. And also another Jen moment from the first episode that we watched, where he's talking to his mum, and his mum's saying how, oh, you always took the manju upstairs. I was wondering what you were doing with them, so I figured you're giving it to someone, as opposed to in the dub where she's saying, oh, Jen, you should eat like Terriermon because Terriermon eats so much and you're as skinny as a mosquito,
She's actually just calling Terriermon fat.
basically.
Mine was that... Okay, so mine isn't actually the biggest change, but it was the biggest change because of how I felt about it, which was at the end of the first one when they said we need to evolve to ultimate, and then the dog's like, I can help you with that, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a thing. They're going to evolve to ultimate, and then in the English they're like, we need to biomerge, and the distinction between that is really big because obviously one gives you this impression that something new is going to happen, and the other one is like, it's biomerge, that's what it is. So if there was any suspense there, I don't even know if it was intended to be that way, but it was just gone.
I would like to see them evolve to ultimates without merging with their tamers, like Megurdramon. We could have a good one, right? Right?
What's Megurdramon?
The devil snake.
What?
Evil Gilmon's ultimate evolution.
Oh, right.
Megurdramon.
Megidramon.
Megurdramon, that one. Megurda.
Megurd. Megurdramon.
Megurd. What are your overall thoughts on Alice and Dogmon being just straight up plot devices?
They're just straight up plot devices. That's my thought. Like, if I ever complained about how Wizardmon was this plot device that didn't do anything, walked in, said some backstory, then left, Alice and Dogmon are that, but with 2 less episodes.
Yeah.
How long was Wizardmon around?
Wizardmon was there for...
Actually, Wizardmon was there for a while,
Yeah,
but he was in the background. No, they showed up. They said, hey, you have a problem? Here's a solution. Oh, we're gone now. Bye.
He died 5 minutes after he was introduced. Because he said, I'm here to die, basically.
It's actually amazing.
But at least they're not trying to cover up the fact it's a plot device, right?
No, they did try to cover it up. Because the girl's still alive, and they're showing, like, the dude with the frame, and you're like, maybe there's something more here. There isn't.
What do you think about that strange Digimon Kamen Rider who shows up?
I think it's just... It looks so much like Cyberdramon, but not a dragon anymore. It's just Cybermon.
What would you call him?
Carmenmon. No, Carmon.
Carmon. That's
Carmon
stupid.
Rider.
That's stupid, but I love it. Okay.
Hope he does one of those kicks.
For this week's screenshot of the week, there was so many to choose from. I'm not going to go with Ruki being adorable with her family because I've done that for the past several weeks. And I'm just going to go with Dobermon's disembodied head licking Alice because that cracked me up.
I considered that one.
The runner-up was also just Dobermon's head flying off going, Nyong!
There were a lot of really good ones. I feel like I saved 2, but I only sent you one.
Yeah, you sent me the Terriermon one.
I sent you Terriermon looking all embarrassed, like, you caught me.
You
but
knew?
You could use it in like more circumstances because he looks kind of guilty.
Yeah.
More than just like enjoying food, and there's stuff going. And it has the subtitle on it.
He's gorgeous. I love him. What do you think about Dobermon's design? Because I like his design.
That's a dog.
It is a dog.
That is a Pokemon.
Yeah, no, because he's very much a dog.
This is like the thing with Digimon is it's always like, okay, you can see what that's kind of based on, but then they've gone nuts with it. It's overly complicated. This is the simplest Digimon that I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because it's if the kids had to be told it was a Digimon with the experience they have, how not obvious does it need to be for you to have to point out what a Digimon is?
It's a very large dog, basic's.
It's just a big dog.
It only has one head, no guns.
And the only metal on it is a collar.
Yeah, the dude is a dog. He could have just been a normal dog, to be fair.
It'd be really funny if Dogmon like evolved and just sprouted guns out of its collar.
Would you like to see Dobermon's canon evolution, Jay?
Yes, I would. Since he's dead and not coming back.
So his name is based on Cerberus. So it's Surfymon? Yeah, it's Surfymon. What do you think Surfymon would look like?
Same thing with 3 heads.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get this up. Surfymon.
Boo?
Surfymon.
Oh, it has 2 heads. No, it has 3.
It has, but it's sort of like, they're like shoulder pads.
Oh, so when I said guns coming out of the collar, you're like, but what if heads came out instead?
But look at the claws. At
Yeah, it's
least
got big
now he's
Wolverine
got
claws.
metal.
Yeah, and actually he's not fuzzy anymore, he's plated now.
He looks like a Digimon now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But speaking of showing you Digimon designs, I will show you DigiWorld.
Oh, it's been a long time. We haven't
Alright.
DigiWorld a long time. I
So-
saw everything. Did I not see everything?
No. There are so many. This is something called Surfymon. Surfymon.
Okay, fair enough.
Surfymon. What do you think Surfymon is?
Okay, so my problem here is that like my only reference point here with the word at the beginning of it, I'm thinking sapphic, so it's like lesbiamon. That's
No.
what I got for you.
No.
It's wearing flannel. I don't know what you want from me.
Okay, I'll say it not in its in the Japanese accent. Surfymon.
Oh my god, is it like a surfer dude that's all like chilled out, got a surfboard? Like, yeah.
So this is from the Card-Ass card game,
Oh, great.
and it's from
Card butts.
the Digimon design contest. It's one of those.
Oh, they're the worst. I think I might have seen this one before.
So no, I don't think you have, because I just discovered him the other day.
We looked through them all.
So I'm gonna try and get up the. Don't look at my screen because I'm getting him up. So I will show you.
One day we'll have a Surfymon. It'll just be Selfie.
It'll be a selfie stick. The true enemy was the selfie stick all along.
The true enemy was yourself.
So first of all, I'm going to try and get the... Okay, so this... First of all, I will show you the design
I'm sure I've seen
from
this.
the entry from the original Digimon design contest in 2007. And now I will show you his card.
Please, come
Are
on.
you ready for this?
I'm always ready. That looks way better than the design, to be fair. He's got a rocket surfboard. He's in space.
Yeah.
He's a shark. And he's probably a kahuna.
From Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Correct. So apparently, there's rumors that they're developing Digimon. The Pokemon Stars as the third one.
Oh.
So it's Sun, Moon,
But
and Stars.
we haven't done
It's
a third
for the
one.
Switch.
When was the last time we did the third one?
They never did Pokemon Z. No, they were gonna, but they never.
No,
did.
they didn't do Pokemon Black. They didn't do Pokemon Grey either. They did Black 2 and White 2.
Yeah.
So
no,
we haven't had a third one since Platinum, which was Gen 4, which came out in 2007, I
Yeah.
think?
So the rumor is they're doing Pokemon Stars, and it's for the Switch.
Okay, probably just a rumor though. But I know they are doing Sun and Moon for the Switch though. That's pretty much confirmed.
Mm-hmm. Did you develop Pokemon Stars for the Switch? Mm-hmm. And did you discontinue Sun and Moon? Mm-hmm.
Postmon Pat this week. First of all, we have an iTunes review.
I love these. They're the best.
They are the best. The title is Great Podcast! 5 stars on iTunes by Digital Dragon from USA on October 1st, 2016. And they say, one of the best Digimon podcasts.
Woo!
The hosts, May and Jay, are very entertaining and have...
One of those was me. One of those was you.
I'm half of that. And they have in-depth discussion about every episode and movie. A very funny podcast that I've listened to for several months.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, and we really appreciate iTunes reviews. I think I have another one for next week, but I think I'm running low on the iTunes reviews, so hint, 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 leave us some iTunes reviews, please.
Oh, well, also, every episode movie. Oh, it's hard. Time to die.
On Gmail, we didn't actually receive that many Gmails this week. That was worrying. I'm sad. So Chisai emailed us and told us
By the
about
way,
the
that's
animation.
LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com.
Yeah.
What's that email again?
LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com.
That's right, it's LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com.
And yeah, so Chisai sent us that wonderful animation. I just want to say thank you again. That's really great. I'm so happy. On Tumblr, we have Kai Alone from last week, which I mentioned earlier about Kulamon's head triangle becoming a saturated purple instead of red after using the Shining Evolution. And we kind of spoke about that earlier. Kai Alone sent us another message for this week and said how Juri's brother looks more like her stepmother. And is her brother like her half-brother or stepbrother in that case? What do you think? I was personally always under the impression that Jerry's mother died when she was quite young. So this could possibly be her half-brother from the father's second marriage, which is the current marriage.
There's every possibility. It's just badly drawn art.
I like to think there's a reason for it. So do you think that stepbrother, half-brother...
It doesn't matter. It honestly just doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't, but it's... I like to discuss. We have an Anonymon who said, Jay mentioned the D-Reaper expanding slowly. Do you think there were human casualties since those buildings might have been full of people?
We discussed this a few nights ago, I think.
Yeah.
Or earlier today. I don't remember.
At some point, yeah.
And the answer is absolutely. Because the D-Reaper would have just appeared. We know that the bottom of that building was dissolved. We don't know how fast that process was, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we know it was dissolved, and if it just randomly appeared, I think it definitely... It can't eat them. We established that because they're organic, but people would have died incidentally. Especially when they were doing the shooting and the rockets with the military. Yeah. I'm sure that some of them died, because it's the Japanese military, and they're bad at fighting monsters. But what I noticed as well is because the top of that building is still there, and there would have been people on every floor, presumably when it first appeared,
yeah.
and there's no way to get out, which is actually, they probably would have evacuated them in the helicopters by now. But since we haven't seen anything like that, no one's discussed it, one has to assume that at the observatories at the top of those buildings, there are like huddled masses of people who have been there for 4 days.
And are screaming in fear and probably running out of food and not doing so well.
This is a kid's show.
That's kind of dark. They're probably resorting to cannibalism.
I mean, not yet.
Or,
but soon.
Death of some kind. Anonymon is also curious about your thoughts on the Tamers getting to their ultimate forms in the real world.
The answer is they had to get there through a stupid plot device.
I know, but at least it wasn't just, we can do it now. We did it by believing. We did it because the Holy Beast gave us the power to.
I agree with you that the something is better than nothing, but in the same place, this is, I ordered a steak and got a slice of lettuce.
Onto Reddit, NeoBoo wants to say thanks. They had a college project about where they had to give a presentation on a podcast and used us as an example of a grassroots product based on fandom, and they got a B+.
Like us. We're a B+ show.
So that makes me really happy that people are enjoying us enough to bring it into their education and find it relevant to their daily lives, and that means a lot to me. So thank you.
Can we see this presentation?
Like, I'm not sure. Are people allowed to produce presentations in, I don't know.
I could show you any essay that I wrote for university, so yes.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I don't know, if I'd like to see.
So yeah, congratulations on the B+. Another Reddit comment was from My Michelle, and they say that I mentioned how Tamers was in 2003, but actually it's in 2001 in the dub and 2000X in the original. I think I just got 2003 from 02 being in 02, so I guess I just said, well, 1 year later was 2003, right?
Well, it makes sense.
So that's how my brain always did it, and I've always said it was in 2003, but isn't, probably actually, that's just how I always thought it.
You know what's weird?
What?
That means in the English, since it's set in 2001, that when they're watching the show, that show is set in the future.
Yes, it's almost like I watched 02 in 2001. Oh wait, I did.
I didn't know that.
02 came out in the year 2000, Jay.
I didn't know that.
It came out a year after Adventure.
I don't remember.
Because Tamers came out in 2001.
Well.
So, 2002 was the future. Another comment on Reddit was from Dak and Jackster. This is also from last week, and I accidentally missed this, so I'm sorry. They like how Marine Angelmon subverts what a mega should look like.
I guess in that it should be giant.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we always had, there's Machine Dramon and there's Piedmon.
Yeah.
I guess. The only difference is that this one's kind of cute.
Yeah, and it's kind of looks more like a baby Digimon rather than a fully evolved one.
Well, it'd be cool if it subverted it and was actually good.
Yeah.
But the thing that did this and was great was Piximon, who I don't know what level they were.
Perfect.
But it still subverted the idea of you had to be giant and scary.
Yeah.
But in fact, Piximon was actually pretty good. We got to see Piximon actually do stuff.
Dak and Jackster then says that they prefer a show with little filler to a show that's far too lean, and that they like when there's time to take breath and goof around.
I would agree. However, in a 50-episode show, I don't think the show is too lean. I get it if you're an OVA and you've gone 3 episodes. Fine. I get it if you're a series that goes 12 episodes if you want to push it to 20 might be a bit much, but if you had enough material for 15,
push to 15,
push it. If you had enough for 15, push it to 20. If you had enough for 12, push it to 15. That's fine. If you like Naruto's first series, if you have 60 episodes, don't push it to 180.
Definitely do not.
And I think with 02 and to a lesser extent Adventure, if you have 20 episodes of content, don't push it to 50. The rule should be, if you're going to have filler, have it be 20% at most.
Yeah.
Don't have it be 60%.
I like in shows how they'll have a really dark arc, and then they'll have just a nice filler episode where everyone's happy and, who cares about the world, exploding or whatever. We'll just go to the beach.
Let's be real. The best filler episodes of all time were all done by Avatar: The Last Airbender, in which the best filler episode of all time was the second last episode, the Ember Island Players, where they're all watching a play of themselves.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was almost like a clip show.
The Boulder.
Yeah, and they made fun of themselves, where they flew over the Great Divide, and they were like, "What's down there? Oh, it's the Great Divide. Should we go down there? No, let's not bother," because that was the worst episode that everyone that had the worst ratings. So they said, "Oh, that never happened." And they had the other best filler episode ever, where they went to the beach, and all the bad guys were on the beach having a great teen romp adventure. It was great. Whereas in 02 and such, they just pissed around fighting Digimon for no reason.
Daisuke was there. Yeah.
That made it all worth it. On With the Will, we go on from Osaka, or Osuka, depending on where you're from.
Osuka.
Yeah, Osuka. So each week they watch Digimon episodes in Japanese, English, and Finnish. Jesus. Okay. I know how hard it is to watch it twice. I can't imagine watching it a third time. The Finnish dub isn't as good as their memory, but they use the music and the script from the Japanese, but the names are from the English version. Fair enough. And they watch clips from...
No, they say watch clips from the Agapio racing team dub of Digimon. They dubbed the first 26 episode Digimon Venture. It's pretty funny. And I think I've seen this, and I think I've shown you. It's with the very sort of not so great acting, and they're following up the clip, and they're all going, ah, and there's Sinut.
I haven't seen this.
I think I linked it to you very early in the Digimon.
How many
watching.
years ago?
The start of the podcast?
1.5 to 2 years ago?
Yeah. No, not... Yeah, 1.5 probably. Less than that. Maybe a bit over a year.
And we got one from on Twitter. The last one was that Anto Classic is also a huge fan of the Dresden Files, and the books get better as they go on. I just finished Stormfront today. I'm going to start Full Moon soon. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's like it's really great. I mean, the first one anyway was just really good, like basic noir storytelling. That's what I wanted. Next time on Zillions of Enemies, when is a Mon Justimon?
Or the invigorating Ultimate Warrior, Justimon arrives.
No, you know what? I'm not going to continue. That is the worst English name I've ever seen in my entire life. When is a Mon Justimon? That's crap. That is terrible. And his kingdom for a horse.
Or Save Dukemon, Granny Scramble.
What? Granny Scramble?
Yeah, it's like type of egg.
This is my grandma, Granny Scramble.
Jesus. For Weekly Wonder this week, I'm going to recommend a show that came out a couple of years ago, but now they have a season 2 thanks to Netflix. It's called Lovesick, but that's the US title because apparently the original title was too raunchy, but I think the original title is hilarious. It's Scrotal Recall. So the description doesn't sound as good as the show actually is. It's funny and it makes you think, and the characters are nice, but they have flaws because they're very realistic. And the show is about a bloke who finds out he has chlamydia, and he has to, go through the task of telling all his former partners that he has chlamydia. And it's the characters, they're realistic. It's really well done. It's funny. It makes you think. It's really nice. It's not too long. It's like the first season's a couple of episodes. The second season's also a couple of episodes. And I'd really recommend it to anyone. It's on Netflix. And season 2, I believe, is Netflix made. So yeah, I totally recommend you watch that. Have you watched that?
No, I haven't.
It's really good. You should.
No, I'm good.
It's good though.
I keep saying no, and you keep telling me about it.
No, I told you about Laid.
You told me about this show as well.
No, I told you about Laid.
You also told me about Scrotal Recall. I would know. I remember that name.
It has a very good title. What about you? What's your weekly wonder?
So my problem here is I didn't really do anything new this week. So the two things I want to say is that A, I'd like to talk about Lucha Underground again, because last time it was a good wrestling show. This time, there was necromancy, there was an actual dragon, and someone was killed. So the show's very different. It's not just a good wrestling show, but also, if I have to say something new, I don't think I've ever actually said Hearthstone, have I?
Yeah, you have.
Oh, that's lame. Well, the new expansion for that's coming out, and I'm excited for that.
So are you choosing Lucha Underground or Hearthstone? Because I'm very confused.
My problem is that I didn't do anything new this week. I finished the book I was reading.
You can choose something again. Just say you really recommend it.
I really recommend Lucha Underground. It's awesome. It's what I've been watching all week.
You can find the link dump linked in the description, and you can also find our screenshots of the week and our weekly wonders, which are also linked in the description and in our link dump and on the posts on With the Will, where we'll also be posting the wrap-up of Tamer's questions. You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or message us on SoundCloud. You can follow us on @TranslationMon on Twitter and on Vine until Vine dies. I recently uploaded an episode of my Appmon Bath Bomb, so that's a very important thing that you'll definitely want to see, I guess.
haven't even seen that yet.
It's very good. It's 6 seconds. What can I say? You can also find us on Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will and a Reddit thread in the Digimon subreddit. And we'd really appreciate it if you were to review us on iTunes and or Stitcher.
And thank you to our Patreon supporters. First off, Sam Krieger, who posts a podcast.
You are doing good with... What is with that... You have a lot of trouble saying host a podcast.
No, I don't.
You've said
I usually get it right.
You've said podcast, like in a weird voice.
I guess you would know because you edit it.
Yes.
I don't hear it though. So Sam Krieger, who hosts a podcast with Stevie called the Moncast, which talks about Pokemon and Digimon. Wu Qinglong, who you can find at twitch.tv/Wu Qinglong. Metal Mamimon, Joe, Anime Guy, who is Anime Guy Kurosaki and the number 1 on YouTube. Chuckmon, Ishpol Bamba, Hiro Olato, who is at Hiro Olato on Twitter. Jason Morosky, Frost Miragic, who is at Frost Miragic on Twitter. Stephen Reeves, who is at WildWing64 on Twitter. Kaidawashi, Mac, Noam, Riku, Red and Garen from Breakfast with Digimon, which is another Digimon podcast. Jams, Chisai, who you can follow at Chisai236 on Tumblr, please do. And Corey.
You can also make a one-off donation on PayPal, which we found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/Edgemon. Make sure to let us know it's for the podcast. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week for Justy Puns.
Bye.
Bye.